on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this afternoon, violence trill IPOB sit-at-home directive in Anambra, Imo states. Resident doctors at River State University Teaching Hospital calls off indefinite strike 7 days after joining their national body to protest welfare issues. Federal government postpones resumption of second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. On the foreign scene, world's largest ever report into climate change to be published today. I am Ifiemi Andrew. Some cities in the southeast region are set to be compliant with the sit-at-home directive of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The group last week gave the directive to protest the continuous detention of its leader, Nnamdi Kanu. In Nnewi, Anambra State, a report says 2 people have been killed amidst the near-total compliance with the sit-at-home IPOB order. This is as 3 buses were set ablaze while a Toyota Camry vehicle was seen abandoned, but the driver said to have fled. Gunshots were also heard early this morning. In Enugu metropolis, residents were left stranded as commercial bus drivers and tricycle operators withdrew their services in compliance with the IPOB lockdown. In Abakaliki, the Ebonyi state capital, residents of the state are reported to have remained indoors. Meanwhile, a former commissioner for information in Imo State, Obinna Nshirim, says dialogue should be applied to avoid unrest in the southeastern part of the country, following the sit-at-home order declared by IPOB for every Monday beginning from today. In an interview with our correspondent, Mr. Nshirim said not many people are obeying the order out of free will, but because they are scared of being harassed.
Those people don't want to go out to avoid being attacked. That is the situation. If you say we should stay at home for 1 week, everybody will stay at home. Then not everybody is staying at home necessarily because of compliance, so to speak, that for fear of being molested. Some people are at home in sympathy with what our boys are saying. Some people are at home because they have no place to go to today like me, and some people may not believe it, but for fear of being attacked or molested, they stay at home.
He also said that although some people in the state agree with the belief of IPOB, they disagree with their approach.
I will call for more caution and tact and diplomacy in handling the issue, because it's volatile. I wish it was made optional so that the world will know the level of compliance. But we are in sympathy with our young boy. We may not agree with his approach, but we agree with what he stands for. We plead that the government will give him fair and just trial and shouldn't act on impulse and behaving handling.
Meanwhile, a resident in Owerri who chose to be anonymous said some private schools cancelled holiday classes because of the sit-at-home order, while shops and properties have been destroyed over opposing comments on social media towards the sit-at-home order. Resident doctors at the River State University Teaching Hospital, RSUTH, have called off its indefinite strike action 7 days after it joined its national body NARD on the strike. Resident doctors are expected to resume by 8 a.m. today. President of the association at RSUTH, George Ila, said the decision was taken at an emergency meeting of the association. He said the legislative process for the domestication of the Residency Training Act has begun, stating that the state government has promised to meet all their demands.
The River State government has demonstrated commitment to addressing the nagging welfare needs of the resident doctors, such as implementation of the wage-adjusted COMES 2019, payment of the COVID-19 inducement hazard allowance, and employment of more resident doctors, amongst others. To reciprocate government gesture and goodwill, and to ameliorate the sufferings and pains of Rivers people, therefore, Congress has resolved that our members should return to the clinics from 0800 hours on Monday, 9th August 2021. We commend the Nyesom-Wike-led government and thank Rivers people for standing by us during this period. Congress wishes to reiterate the commitment of the resident doctors at Rivers State University Teaching Hospital to the vision of the hospital in ensuring excellence in training, research, and service delivery.
Resident doctors say they will not resume work despite a threat of no work, no pay by the federal government. President of the National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Uyilawa Kwayesui told Channels TV Sunday Politics that the strike will continue fully and indefinitely.
In all the ultimatum was signed 117 days ago, you have failed in meeting our requirements, and you call of ILO when you have not even done the ones you're supposed to do. Is he not aware that we gave a notice of over 116 days? Was it not part of the people that signed the memorandum of action? Well, Resolute and members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors want to stay on this till we achieve something meaning that if we can change the narrative of the health sector.
Recall that the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, on Friday threatened to replace striking resident doctors if they refuse to return to work today.
If you go to ILO principles at work, it guarantees a worker right to strike, but it has consequences. Your employer, on essential services in particular, has a right to replace you. He will also withdraw your money, your remuneration, and use it to pay those he has so acquired at those periods you were away. So Nigeria, being a member of ILO, in our Trade Disputes Act 2004, Section 43, it is there. I will escalate it because the conciliation has failed.
Dr. Kwayesui, in his response, asked why Ngige, who himself is a doctor, is mixing politics with medicine.
There's no zone in Nigeria as it speaks where you can get a functional hospital that is world class. If we had one, they wouldn't go abroad when they had malaria or headaches to seek for medical care. It's a shame, and I need to ask the government and the Nigerian populace to ask them questions. In different climes, when you do not know the services to render, you should resign honorably and hide yourself in shame, not come to the media and fill them with lies and think you get all right because you're a politician and you have forgotten that he's a doctor. So to be shameful when a senior colleague like him tells you on public media that you are going to replace those under specialties with a local doctor means it does not mean well for Nigerians.
He also said the idea that doctors go on strike arbitrarily is a misrepresentation. The Senate has refuted reports that the lawmakers have proposed the creation of 20 more states, saying the upper chamber was grossly misrepresented. Senate spokesman Ajibola Basiru, in a statement on Sunday, said the report is a misunderstanding of the decision reached by the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution. The statement explained that the Senate Committee, while acknowledging receipts of several bills proposing creation of new states, decided that it is not in a position to recommend or propose the creation of any state unless there is compliance with the provisions of Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic as amended. Some of the states which the Senate purportedly proposed their creation are Itai State from Akwa Ibom, state status for the FCT, Aba State from Abia, Anioma State from Delta, Torbene and Oil River from Bayelsa, Delta and Rivers, among others. Still ahead, federal government postpones planned resumption of second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. Stay tuned.
You no longer have to miss any moment of the action. Listen to us from anywhere in the world. Download the Nigeria Info FM app from your app store. Tap the menu bar on the top left corner of your screen, select Port Hackett, and listen to your number one news, talk and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
PDP National Chairman Prince Uche Secondus says the party will recover from its crisis and return stronger ahead of the 2023 elections. Mr. Secondus said this in Anambra State, where the party is working to resolve conflicts amongst its members ahead of the November governorship election in the state.
All issues have been resolved and the party is now in a good state and strengthened. Nobody should be left in doubt that this is PDP. We have a way of reinventing ourselves and making sure that we are getting stronger and stronger. We can recover Anambra for PDP because virtually the two senators there are people, House of Rep members, House of Assembly. So Anambra originally is PDP, and by this election in November, we will recover that position.
Benue State Governor Samuel Otom says if nothing is done about the increasing number of IDPs in the state, it could lead to even more insecurity issues in the country. The governor, during the television interview, said the number of IDPs is now well over 1.5 million.
I see danger coming ahead of us. This number of IDPs, that after over 1.5 million, we are still counting. And what is the population of Benue State? Just about 7 million by projection. And now you have 1.5 million, over 1.5 million. And these people, the young men, the children, are not going to school. They are not living in a normal camp. Every one of them is distressed because these are not even standard camps where these people are. So it's quite challenging. And our people cannot go to farm.
Rivers State Ministry of Education says private schools planning early third-term vacation will be sanctioned. A statement by its Permanent Secretary Chidi Adiele said based on the calendar approved by Governor Nyesom Wike in August 2020, schools are to vacate for the third term 2020-2021 academic session on September 10. He said any private school that vacates before the approved closing date shall face appropriate sanctions. He also said officials of the State Ministry of Education shall be deployed to seal up schools that vacate before the approved closing date. The federal government has postponed the administration of the second phase of the coronavirus vaccine doses. The Director of Press, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Willie Bassi, had announced on Saturday that the administration would start on Tuesday. However, in a notice on Sunday, Bassi said the exercise has been postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. In business, the landing cost of petrol imported into the country has increased to a new high of 249 naira 42 kobo per litre on the back of high global crude oil prices. The further rise in the landing cost of petrol means increased subsidy, as the pump price of the product remains steady at 162 naira to 165 naira per litre. Petrol subsidy, which was removed in March 2020, resurfaced earlier this year as the government has left the pump price of the product unchanged since December, despite the increase in global oil prices. In entertainment, American singer Britney Spears' father has hit back at attempts to remove him from the conservatorship that controls the singer's money and affairs, saying there are no grounds whatsoever to do so, describing the singer as mentally sick. Jamie Spears claimed in a court filing that Britney is struggling so much with her mental health. In sports, Lionel Messi is expected to arrive in Paris today, having said a tearful farewell to Barcelona after 21 years. The 34-year-old, seen by the French giants' Qatari owners as the vital missing piece of their frustrating Champions League puzzle, has already had fans playing a guessing game.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
The world's largest ever report into climate change will be published later today, setting out the reality of the state of the planet. The study is by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a UN group that looked at more than 14,000 scientific papers. It will be the most up-to-date assessment of how global warming will change the world in the coming decades. Scientists say it will likely be bad news. On the news this afternoon, you heard that violence is set to have trailed the IPOB sit-at-home directive in Anambra and Imo states. Resident doctors at Rivers State University Teaching Hospital have called off the indefinite strike 7 days after joining their national body to protest welfare issues. The federal government has postponed the resumption of second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. On the foreign scene, you heard that the world's largest ever report into climate change is to be published today. The news is edited by Choma Ezewa. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. Partly cloudy weather expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Thank you for listening and enjoy your day.